Italia!
All right, Milanisti everywhere. How's it going? It's your probably least favorite hosts, John or Lad Gorilla, sorry, and Shane from Milanistas 360. So we're just going to recap some of the events from this week. It's kind of even hard to talk about the sporting performance, right? But Milan, being the complete fucking train wreck of a club that it is actually provided some drama off the pitch as well. And this is probably kind of fitting in with the tone of how we're playing on the pitch. It's also, potentially very negative for us going forward, right? And how it's going to, affect our summer transfer window. So, yeah, you reap what you sow. Episode 69, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it. Mr. Lab Gorilla, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Sorry guys for not having I guess we didn't have a podcast last week, did we, Shane?
No, no,
I was funny enough when we played against Empoli, I was in Milan for a wedding anniversary,
no.
which was
Yeah?
really nice. But very, very foggy. If anybody remembers watching the Empoli game, you could hardly
Mm,
see the ball, and
yeah.
it was the entire region completely
Mm,
fogged over. I've got to say, Milan, this is my first visit since the pandemic, and Milan is the busiest it's ever been, probably the most
mm,
polluted I remember it being.
mm,
But it was the first time I've taken my family to Milan with me, so it was quite nice to see the Duomo, the big center where all
mm,
the big marquee companies near it, the Prada, the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, all of it. So it was quite cool
mm,
to have that experience, I think, for them. But I didn't go to the game. Even though my hotel was only 5 kilometers away from the actual stadium, I was kind of thinking it's an Empoli game. What's the point?
yeah.
You know, if we don't beat Empoli, what the hell are we? But I did make Shane a big mistake of going to
No,
Milan
John.
store
No, John.
and spending money.
No. See, this is the thing, though, is that I get it, right? But it's also the thing of we are propping up this ownership, you know.
We are propping up this owner. I mean, I was like, I feel wrong. I walked into that store, mate. Those lime green shirt, the badges, and
Mm,
saying "Made with Milanismo" was all over the front of the shop, and I was like, "Nah." Then I love baseball caps. I love baseball caps, and that's why our thumbnails got that picture as a picture I took from inside the store. At the
yeah,
very top of the baseball cap section is the New York Yankees stuff, and
yeah,
my eldest daughter was like, "Dad, that's not Milan's badge. What is that, Dad?" And she goes, "Hang on, isn't it New York Yankees?" There's literally, Shane, there were hats that said New York Yankees, not Milan, and on the side had the horrific badge.
brilliant, brilliant.
It is
This is
crazy.
this is
It is
great.
crazy.
I fucking love it, man. And so you
Oh,
bought the baseball caps, right?
I, mate. So this is the other thing, and Shane, I don't get this.
Yeah.
So the Milan only caps, the actual caps that should be there, they were like between 31 and 37 euros each. The New York stuff, I was about to swear, the New York stuff was about 50 euros, Shane. I, I don't
That's it.
I, I don't genuinely understand how it's worth more. And I'll tell you now, that store was rammed. It's what surprised me. The store was rammed with people buying stuff. You couldn't get things out of them quickly enough. And you went upstairs and you saw
Mm.
Baresi, Maldini, Van Basten, all the big players' shirts, hand signed in beautiful frames. I think I shared some
Oh,
of those pictures on the WhatsApp group.
yeah, yeah.
And it kind of like you walk up the stairs, you're like, oh, this is amazing, this is incredible. And then you go
Mm.
into the main store and you're like, oh, hang on. And my daughter's like, "Why is there a hoodie, Daddy, that says New York Yankees on AC Milan's badge?" And I was like, "That's the one I want to buy." No, 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 no. I didn't buy that. But I did buy a Milan cap and I did buy a Milan hoodie.
Hmm.
Uh, I honestly, I was like, the cheapskate side of me said, "You're not paying postage. This is the time to do it." That's
I
literally what I
could.
did. But dude,
Okay.
the queues at the till of
Hmm.
people buying the current Milan jersey were unbelievable. And I thought to myself, wow, these guys are taking money in, and
Yeah.
it's really incredible how well it's doing. And I hadn't quite realized, because I haven't been back in years, as I said, since the start of the pandemic. So
Hmm.
I walk around the corner, we're just walking to a botanical gardens, and turn around. The Intershop is right there. And it was completely empty, man. I was like looking inside going,
Nice.
"Okay, I'm standing there with my bags, my shopping bags that say AC Milan on it." I thought, "I better
Hmm.
move away from here." And then I look and it's like literally no one inside the store. I thought, "What? Oh, hang on a minute. One club is making money through sales of shirts and stuff and merch. The
Hmm.
other one is doing it through the sporting side, and
It
not so
just
many people are
shows
in the
you,
shop."
John, it just shows you, bravo to Cardinale, right? Because when you have a bucket of shit team, then you can still make money.
I think my eldest daughter's never shown any interest in football, and she said, "Dad, red and black looks really good. I'd
It
really like
does.
to have a Milan shirt." And I thought, "Oh, so it does sell, man." That shirt that Musa's got and her thumbnails got on. She looked at it and she
Hmm.
was like, "I'd really like to have that." So
Yeah.
I'm working to, but it's like, oh, do I give her that? Oof, I don't know
Do,
now.
do I want to share the trauma of supporting this bucket of shit
I
club? That's the
I think,
question you have to ask then.
yeah, yeah, really, honestly. Oh, hello, Fahadinho, I see, and Carmelo. Hello to you both. Good morning. Buongiorno.
Carmelo. Question: why
It
don't
used
we
to.
promote our live videos on X and Twitter? That's a very good point. It's something I have to kind of get on. Because the thing is Fahadinho, right? So I have a love-hate relationship with Twitter because it's kind of like the most toxic, you know, section of society seems to go on it. And it's a load of incels that kind of live in their, mom's basement, posting shit all day. So I try not to go on it too much. But to be fair, I think it's probably time to, hit back up to Twitter again. I'll
I mean,
just
if
dip
you
in and
if you've
out.
got, hello, Kim.
Hey,
Hey, good
Kim.
morning. Oh, I'd say for him it's probably good afternoon, good evening. Yeah.
That's it. Kim
Um,
is into future times.
in the future. So we've got a lot to get through, Shane. So a few points to
Mhm.
get through as well. So let's get started, eh? You've got
Yeah,
control of
man.
the.
I do.
Mhm.
So, yeah, let's dig into it. So, this is kind of the main topic for
Yeah,
today. Once I can bring it up, here we go. All right, John, we are full screen.
yeah, cool, excellent. So, guys, yeah, our thumbnail, Milan store, Chicken Royale. Hope you're loving it. Let's move on. So we start with, as I said, we've not done a pod for a while. So let's just summarize what happened because it's important for the following points. First thing, we beat Slovan Bratislava 3-2, shockingly 3-2. Um, and the headline, Leao makes a difference in the second half. Right. Let's move quickly. We beat Empoli. So this was the day that I was actually in Milan. Tijani Reindeer scores 2 goals. Yeah, they sit on. At the time they were 16 points and so on. Great, fantastic. Then we played against a Serie B team, and I would argue that their Serie B team was actually their B team on top of that, and we beat them 6-1. And I just want to make the point here that we were 4-0 up by the 23rd minute, and I and every other Milan fan in our WhatsApp group was screaming, saying, "Right, 4-0 up, 23 minutes. This is the time. Pull the trigger." Right? Pull the trigger. You're now able to put on Camarda, Liberali. You can do whatever you want. Put the youngsters in. And Fonseca was like, "No, I'm not. I am going to, in fact." changed the team in a way that makes no sense whatsoever. Put more senior players on. Uh, I think to remind me again, Shane. I think he changed the
Mm.
keeper. I think he did
He
a
did. He
keeper swap.
did. But just
Um,
a key thing with this, John, right?
yeah.
What I really like about Chukwueze, right, is that when
Oh
he
yes.
plays like children or when he plays Serie B level squads or junk teams, right, he scores and he plays well. But the thing is, though, he's an absolute junk fucking player. Like he really is. Like I mean, there's nothing about Chukwueze that says to me that he is the quality that we should be looking at. He should be sold. I'm sorry, absolute junk.
I mean, you have been absolutely, to your credit, you have been absolutely consistent with your messaging on Chukwueze. But I just wanted to remind everyone about what. So we're 4-0 up by the 23rd minute. We're all screaming, right, guys? We're all screaming, please bring in the youth. These are the subs. Let me just read them to you. Sportiello comes off. Lorenzo Torriani comes on. Ruben Loftus-Cheek comes off. Christian Pulisic comes on. Fofana comes off. Musa comes on. Leao comes off. Okafor comes on. So, in what sense, except for Torriani, but that's probably because Sportiello, that was Sportiello's first game back after his horrific injury. At what point do you think that this is in any way helping the squad? It makes no sense. Then Davide Calabria scores, Tani Abraham scores, and finally Tijani Reinders on the 65th minute is taken off, replaced by Bartasaghi. Right? That was it. We never got to see Liberali. We never got to see Camarda. Now, to me, Shane, and please, give me your opinion on this, but
Hmm.
I feel very strongly that's a concrete indication that Fonseca has no trust, no belief, no willingness to blood youngsters with the first squad.
One
Because
hundred
I
percent,
can't
man.
think I can't think of a better scenario in any potential match to put
Yeah.
on those kids and to demonstrate what you're going to do. And just to be double sure of this, I am going to just check the lineup for Milan for that game and check who was on the subs bench. All right, Shane. So on the
Yeah.
subs bench available were Camarda.
Hmm.
Were oh, there you go. It was only Camarda that we could have really called up on. Jimenez
Yeah.
was there too, by the way, but Liberali was not called up according to this list.
Sp-
There you go.
Let's talk
There you
Milan.
go.
Spartiello, Spartiello got injured by changing a light bulb.
Well, yeah, yeah. I don't know what else to say about Sportiello's injury. There's a quite funny joke that Gio was saying about shout out to Gio and the Coast to Coast guys. Um, yeah, about being, or was it Fabio saying he was forcibly doing something with his hand?
Brilliant.
So I'm not gonna go there. But guys, so the first point was this, right, Shane, which is
Mm,
this was the time. This was the match. How
mm.
can you not? I mean, if you look at this Swallow lineup, most of the players don't even have pictures, right? It was just this
They
carbon
don't
cutouts.
exist.
They don't
Yeah.
exist. And so, like, shocking, mate, shocking. But this is what it led to. We had those three games, okay? And we said, I think we've been pretty consistent, Shane, from day one, saying,
Mm.
please stay on course and just the easy games will come. Some people will get carried away, but don't get carried away because the stress test will come and it will fail. But this is what happened, totally predictably. Just showing you some headlines. Final score Milan Empoli 3-0. Morata and the doubles for Reindeers, right? And then it says Fonseca can smile. Then the next headline, you know, bless his soul, Bove had a heart attack. It appears on the pitch, and looks like he's gonna have to the Fiorentina player live with a defibrillator installed. But the
Oh,
good news is that no long term damage has been done to him. That's the important news about it. He'll be able to live a full life from what we can see. But the headline here says, "Have we finally understood it?" Then the next headline Milan 6-1 against Sassuolo. Two new arrivals, Reindeers and Liao. Like, what? And then the final one that really takes the absolute biscuit is incredible. Has it changed? Tactics and mentality. Finally. I like, no, come on, no. And then let's just go to the
We
next
are
one.
winning the Champions League, guys. We've beaten a Serie B team, and we've
Yeah,
destroyed Empoli. We're winning the Champions League. Fuck it, you know.
exactly. And then the next one head is on the from the Gazzetta itself, the newspaper that hammers us most of the time, the secret of reindeer that maybe you haven't seen. Fonseca's transformed him. What? And then on Musa, balance, two phases, sacrifice, the evolution of the unpredictable Musa. Are we
Absolutely
on
junk
drugs?
player. Like, yeah.
So what was you know what, Shane, what I did? Every time I saw these headlines, the reason I've got these images is because I kept them. Because I was like, you know what? This is gonna kick these people back in the face in the
Yeah,
very next game that's coming up. And let's stop for a minute to read Fahadinho's comment here on
that's it.
regarding the youth. This is what twisted my mind. Fonseca played Camarda against Cagliari in a tough match with a low block when the match against Sassuolo was the perfect match to feature Camarda.
Yeah,
Agreed.
one
Agreed.
hundred
But I
percent.
also
And
think,
do you know what,
yeah.
John? And
Mm,
just to echo what Fahadinho was saying, what's really fucking annoying about that as well is all Camarda needs is one goal,
yeah.
right? And he could be let loose, right? And he could be like a fucking monster. And the thing is what better team to put him on, right? Even at half time, right? As you said, we were 4-0 up against fucking Sassuolo.
In
They're not
23
coming
minutes.
you know,
In
John,
23 minutes. Yeah. I would have had that subs bench stuffed with youth players. I would
yeah,
not have done. I mean, so, we know what's happened to Pulisic and we'll discuss it in a minute. But this question's been asked now saying, oh, Pulisic came on for this game. Was that necessary? No, it wasn't necessary. Shane, it was never necessary to play Pulisic. It's no. What? Why? Why on earth are you pushing these? Like what I think everyone agrees is if everyone is fit, our starting 11, except for the right back position, is okay. But the
yeah,
problem is everything below that is brittle and there's no foundation being built, no integration being done, so we can't rely on anyone else. This is by choice. And I
yeah,
wanted to just remind everyone, we were told Fonseca by Ibrahimovic himself. Fonseca was the man to blood youngsters, to bring them in, that the Serie C league table, the integration of Milan Futuro in Serie C was going to do the big change in the way they play. And by the way, since the last podcast, which was 2 weeks ago,
mm,
the Futuro team has not won in Serie C. They've
that's
won in
good.
a cup
That's
match.
good. They're
They've
laying the
not won
foundation
again.
for the future and what we're going to be doing as well. So this is okay, John. It's expected.
It, it's just like everything is spiraling. It's absolutely spiraling, and I agree here with the brand new comment that's just come up from Carmelo, which is should have brought Liberale too. Honestly tell you, man, against Sassuolo, if you're 4-0 up, you put those players available. You should have turned up with those players available on the bench and let them play. It's literally all we wanted to see.
See
Those
what Kim
subs
said, and
infuriated me.
this
Yeah.
is a fair point as well. She's saying these stupid, silly excuses about the referee are just downright outrageous. CDK, remember that guy? Leaped nicely, wasn't a foul. I was happy it was him to score as a huge fuck you towards the ignorant management. And to be honest, right,
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling that way now as well, right?
I
It's
mean, I
like,
mean, uh, let's go to that game since
mm,
it's actually very apt to do. So we had those three easy matches, and
mm,
this was the acid test. Everybody was saying it. We needed 3 points against Atalanta because we'd fallen so far behind in the league. You remember we had fallen to like sixth or seventh in the league, and we were talking about 10 points behind and so on. So pre-game, I thought let's just watch Fonseca's a press conference and listen to it. And he basically, this is the three summarized sentences. We aren't going to attack Atalanta. You cannot do that. First thing he said. I can guarantee you that we won't play near their goal. Yeah, because he was asked the question, "Are you going to try and impose yourself on Atalanta?" And he says, "No. There are some games where you just cannot do that, and we're sure that it's not going to happen." And then I have. He was asked, "You've never beaten Gasparini. He's actually battered you several times." And he said, I have no ill will against the man. I have no wish to beat Gasparini just because I've never beaten him before." That is,
So I
a lot of
would.
people said. Say that again, Shane. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
It's like, and I would beat him, so it's fine.
And yeah, yeah. But a lot of people hearing those comments um, came back and said, "All right, we're getting whooped. We're gonna just not even compete in this." So you think, okay, we're not gonna play near their box. So what happened here? We had a shot on goal in the first 30 seconds. Pulisic, really nice move, really quick break. But then after that, we had the goal, and that was it. Two shots on goal the entire game. They had eight. Manyan was kept nice and busy. He had to make six saves. Yeah. Whilst obviously their keeper only made one, and that was the first one in the first 30 seconds. So if you think about this, exactly what Fonseca said pre-game happened. Now, does that mean that we should give Fonseca credit? No, because he turned up to basically draw. He turned up
Yeah.
thinking draw is the best result possible. And after we went 1-0 down, and I'm not gonna talk about the CDK goal. To me, that it happens in football. Sometimes referees give it, sometimes referees don't. I don't care. You're supposed to have just like woken up and come back into the game. We did with a lovely move, started on the left flank by Leao, and then crossover for Morata to finish off 1-1. But at one point, and I've seen several channels say this, Pulisic got injured. We now know Pulisic is out for at least 2 weeks. Okay, he's got a
Mm.
strain, and now you think to yourself, right, we've lost Pulisic. Who is he going to put in his place? Who did
And we know,
Fonseca bring on? RLC. The
yeah,
moment RLC comes on, the team stopped any moves. And because that's just how they play. So we gave them the ball, let them play around us, let them attack us at will. And it started to become a game of let's just hold out. I don't remember most of the second half. It was just like an awful blur of terrible football. But then, of course, as always, huge defensive lapse again and goal by Atalanta. Was it trying to remember, was it Lookman? Who was it that scored the goal for Atalanta? Um, do you remember?
oh, I can't remember. Hold on.
Let me see. Let me see. Was it Ademola Lookman
I
or
think
was
the
it?
trauma fucking
Well, yeah. Hang on,
wiped it
hang on.
from my
I'll take
memory. So it
if
was,
anyone in
yeah,
the
it was
chat can remember.
Lookman in '87.
Yeah, it was Lookman. Okay, so he was there. I mean, all on his own. He came in.
Mm.
Terrible. But I'm not giving I refuse to give Fonseca credit for saying that we were not going to play near their box. Exactly, Carmelo. When I heard that, I thought, okay, well then you're playing either for a draw or you're just giving up. And
Yeah,
he gave Gasparini so many positives. But the point was this: we, this was our acid test. The draw was not good enough. We needed to catch up points because now we are a full 4 games behind first place. So just forget it.
yeah,
If
we're out.
Fonseca,
Done now.
if
Yeah,
Fonseca turns around and says we're still in the title race, like
no.
even you ask Gasperini, he doesn't talk about the title race very much, right? He
Yeah,
refuses to because he wants to concentrate. That's a winning coach. You ask Fonseca, oh yeah, we're still in the title race. No, 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 no.
no, definitely
Forget
not.
it.
I mean,
And then
how?
after the
Like,
game, yeah, go.
so the thing is though, is that if you like, so if we're talking about the title race, right? And imagine like optically, right? 12 points behind the league leaders, and it
Yeah,
is not, we're not even into December. Like
We're
it's the
just starting
beginning of
December.
December.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
12
mean,
points
man?
behind. Yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sake, like, and the thing is, I don't think Fonseca is a stupid guy, right? I don't, he doesn't strike me as a guy that's stupid, but Jesus Christ, when you're coming out with this stuff, right, and you're just going like, if you're bringing on RLC, right,
Yeah.
you're not a serious club. If Ruben Loftus Cheek is your answer, right, to come onto the pitch, you are at best a fucking conference level team, Europa
Mm,
conference level team, right? And we're literally playing to, the reason why we are where we are in the table is because we are literally that shit, right? And that is
yeah.
due to there's no project. There's not an understanding about what a good team actually plays like. There's no balance. There's nothing going on in midfield for the most part. Rangers is great, don't get me wrong, right? But when you look at those sense, like, other people playing alongside him in the midfield, John, right? And you have Musa, who is, I am fucking sorry, right? And I know he's a kid, right? He's still young, right? He is not the quality that we should be looking for. He should be loaned out at best. Go to fucking Monza or something like that and blood yourself in, for a season, right? Fucking RLC then as well beside him, right? Who else do we have in the midfield, John?
Oh,
Um,
we got Fofana, who's okay. He's been
Fafana,
okay. Yeah.
Fafana is right. I'll give you that. He's okay. But then I mean,
Yeah.
like, where is the balance coming in though, John? Like, there's no balance
No.
in this fucking team. There's not.
But Shane, so this is the point about people getting carried away. There
Hmm.
were so many comments that said, look, Fonseca has understood this. He has transformed to Johnny Reindeers. I'm sorry, to talk about someone as being world class, they need to be able to perform in a sustained manner against
Yeah,
all levels of opponents.
yeah,
He is not world class. He has done well, and I'm glad for him that he's finding the goal. I'm not going against the boy, right?
mm,
But he is not. You cannot turn around and say Fonseca has transformed him. There is not enough evidence against decent opposition. Then the other one is this: people saying
mm.
Musa is the perfect foil for Chicken Royale. Excuse me?
Absolute two fucking junk players. Just two. Just the two of them, right? So that's a great comment, right? Because indirectly what you're actually admitting is you're admitting that the right backs is so fucking weak that that he needs another player to back him up, right? Because he gets found out consistently
Yeah,
in the defensive phase, right?
yeah,
And what you're saying as well is like, like you're saying, okay, so we're going to put Moose in there to track back and stuff like that, right? But John, like, here's the thing: the two of them, right?
yeah.
If I look at them, right, and let's compare ourselves to the best, right? So at the moment, so if we compare those two to, like, let's say, okay, would they play at Atalanta? They would not.
No,
Would they
no,
play at Juventus? They would not. Would they play at
no.
Inter? They would not.
Oh, wait.
So, they like, do not, like, it's kind of like putting a band-aid. It's kind of like, the dam is about to burst and you're going to put like a band-aid on it, right? It's literally
Yeah.
that. The thing is they're literally just shit players.
Do you know what, Shane?
Yeah,
It feels like you're having to put on two players to try and make one whole player.
dude, this is literally it, right? This is the thing, and this is why, like, John, and we talked about this when Tonali was first sold, right?
Mm,
We talked about this. We were like, all right, okay, it's a shit situation. We didn't want to lose to Nelly, regardless of what was going on with the gambling thing. Okay, right. It was a shit situation, right? So we lost to Nelly, right? Um,
mm,
the buckets of shit, right, that they have bought in, right, from that sale. I mean, the only one, right? Fair enough. Rangers, Pulisic, right?
yeah.
I'll give it to them, right? They cracked it. They're good players, right? Quality, whatever. to, to be honest though, like, the success rate that Redbird have when they're scouting new players, right? Like, what's it been, about 13 or 14 players, and we're looking
Yeah.
and saying that, oh, 2 out of 13 are good.
Well, and the thing is, it's like Pulisic, yes, okay, but is that really scouting? I mean, Gino was making the
Ah,
point the other day. Look, that's not really scouting, and reindeers is not really scouting.
yeah.
Scouting
Well,
is finding
I know
someone.
fucking Chicken Royale isn't scouting either, though.
Well,
Because
that's not
any,
scouting.
yeah,
Well,
it's like who
that's
the
not
fuck
scouting.
okays that
That's
transfer,
not a,
man?
that's not an algorithm of any kind whatsoever. It's
No,
not scouting. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just saying shit. We need now to sell some more. There's 125th anniversary shirts to pay that crap off. You
dude.
know.
Like, I mean, it comes to something, right? Where because you know me, John, right? I'm not a fan of Calabria. I'm sorry, I haven't been.
No, I know.
All
Yeah.
right, but the thing is it fucking comes to something, right? This management, right, have successfully like made me want Calabria on the pitch.
Isn't it incredible?
Do you know? Like like the quality of the player that they bought in, right, to either take his starting role or as a sub, whatever, is literally so poor that I
Yes.
want another poor player to take his place back on the pitch. That is literally what
Yes.
this management have done. Like,
Well, when the question was put to Moncada saying, "Is your transfer window finished?" and he said, "Yes, we wanted two players of equal levels in every position." Not
oh,
literally, mate. Not literally, mate.
equal levels. That's great.
Yeah.
Equal levels.
I
Oh, why have a good starting quality right back?
This
We
is the
don't need
thing.
that.
Yeah. I was astounded saying, "Well, okay, I guess they are equal level."
They
I mean,
are.
equally awful. I
Yeah.
again, a lot of these answers are astounding me. But I just wanted to say here, look, the stress test was this game. I felt at 1-1, we were doing okay. All right, we were doing okay, but the game dropped. It's again the same thing. Is once a team starts to understand our tactics, we sink, and because they're just better. Atalanta
Yep.
are just better coached. They're better players who understand their roles better. And so
Yep.
what happens? You stress test our squad, it fails. These
At
numbers tell you
John,
that the game was not close, Shane.
John, I just want to tell you,
Yes.
you know why
Yeah.
Atalanta are better? Because Atalanta are a serious club.
Yeah.
We are not.
Yeah.
That's the
They're,
thing.
they're a serious.
We're not a
Okay,
serious club
listen.
anymore.
They are a serious sporting club. That's what I
Yeah.
will say to you. And
Yeah.
and we are a serious marketing club. And as someone said earlier on in the chat, I think it might have been Fardinho, it's
Mm,
true. The red and black stripes are really attractive to the eye. And maybe that's how you get so many people buying shirts and continuously buying shirts. But
mm.
yeah, our management, they have to be, they must go.
Yeah.
There's just no way. There's just no way around it. They
It's a
must go.
failed project, John.
Yeah.
There's
It's yeah.
so the thing is the amount. So the amount of money, right, that it would literally take to fix this, because you need to rebalance the squad, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of money that it would take to fix this, right, is like it's getting bigger every year. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yes,
so.
and that's a great point, Shane. But this goes back to even the Pioli time, when we all could see that he had lost the squad, but no
Yeah,
movement was made. And
yeah,
apparently it was, one was, well, we just want to try and use as much of his contract as possible. And the other one was Fonseca's to come in at a certain time for tax reasons. When you're thinking of penny pinching in that way,
yeah,
then you clearly have not got any sporting ambition at all. You're not running the club based on that. You're running the club based on something else. And
yeah.
unfortunately, it leads to this. Now we are 4 full games behind first place, 4 full point games behind first place. We are going to be in serious, serious trouble. I don't, Shane, I'm going to ask you this question. What do you think our percentage likelihood is of making Champions League spots?
I can't answer that because to me it kind of correlates to how long is Fonseca going to be in this job. So the longer that he's in this job, the less likely it is to happen. To be honest.
Mm,
That's the concerning thing. And it's
yeah,
this is no slight to Fonseca. I mean, to be honest, I think I quite like the character of the guy in some context, but he's just not the quality that we need. We need someone. We don't need a yes man, right? We need someone
yeah.
to go in and literally put the fear of God into these players. We need someone like, not, I know like it's a huge ask, but someone like Alex Ferguson who, fucking throw,
Wow.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
okay.
Like,
Throw shit at people.
throw
Yeah.
shit at people. It's like, if you fuck up, you have to be afraid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's what we need. But the thing is we won't get this, John. And the
No.
concerning thing is, they're already. I was looking at Sempre Milan. Shout out, check them out if you haven't seen them already. Sempre Milan, right? They released a headline a few days ago, right, talking about the replacements for Fonseca,
Mm,
right? So I mean, yeah, it's pretty much done at this point. But here's the thing, though, John. Any replacement we get, right, we would like. Let's say, right, in an ideal world, right, and this will never happen because it'd be too good to be true. But let's say in an
yeah.
ideal world, right, we were faced with Ancelotti's after getting fired from Real Madrid, right?
Yeah.
So Ancelotti's free, right? But we wouldn't go for the quality of Ancelotti, right? What we'll do is we'll go, oh well, let's pick Sarri,
Uh
right?
yeah.
Do you
No,
know?
finish your point and I'll say then I'll answer that. Yeah.
So we'll go for Sarri, right? Or we'll go for these, very bang average, to be honest, fucking like managers, right? And the thing is, can you imagine? I can guarantee you this, right? If Sarri comes in, right,
Hmm.
we will lose games, in a more attractive way. But who gives a fuck, right? Because we will
Hmm.
still lose games, and like because defensively we cannot play Sarri ball. Right. We can't. We
Yeah.
can't. We don't have the players for it. We don't have quality players for the
I mean
most part.
it and I think it would take a full preseason. And the problem is you can't I don't think you can do this. So
No.
okay, Shane. I
Hmm.
my take is this, and I've mentioned it in our Milanista 360 WhatsApp group. So the
Hmm.
guys who are on here, who are on that, will know my view on this, but I'll make it public here. I think Milan's management will not bring in any coach that has any resemblance of a need to request for things, any ambition for things. They
Yep.
will only bring in a coach that will work with what he is given, because that
Yep.
is what Lopetegui, which by the way is a disaster, and that
Yep.
is what Fonseca is, which is
Yep.
also a disaster. They're both coaches that work with what they're given, say exactly as Carmelo said, just say things that people want to hear. Some reason people believe it, and I don't understand it.
Mm.
And we're given all these lies about youth integration, about the way the team is going to have good continuation from the Pioli era, are
Yep.
going to keep playing that style. None of that stuff is indicative of somebody who really wants to win something. Now, this being said, I'm going to say it here. I believe we're going to make it through to either the playoff round in the Champions League or even make automatic promotion to the knockout phases of the Champions League. But
Mm.
irrespective of that, Shane, irrespective of that, it is only because the fixtures now, you would be ashamed to lose any of the fixtures.
Yep.
You should be ashamed to lose any of those fixtures. And I'm going to say, or even draw them. I'm going to say it. Okay.
Mm.
Any team worth their salt who's half competitive should be winning those Champions League remaining fixtures, meaning that Milan should make top eight. It's as simple as that. Okay. The result we got was that win against Real Madrid. We've had discussions ourselves regarding why we think that happened. Same
Hmm.
thing as the win against Inter. I'm not going to take that away. Let's just say it. We've got those points, all right?
Yep.
But do not lose sight of the fact easy fixtures are coming. Points will build up. But you saw those headlines. This is the reason why we showed them today.
Yep.
Don't get on that silly bandwagon of believing that we've got some kind of genius in charge and we've got
100%,
some
man.
kind of world class players. No such thing is happening here. The moment Milan goes up against anyone worth anything, any, quality, they
Hmm.
will lose. It's just how this team is built. It is not built with sporting ambition. I just
Yep.
wanted to get it said in here and now and put it on record if you like. I don't particularly care. Because the evidence now, and I said it yesterday in the chat, is concrete. And the concrete has hardened. Every
Mm.
single real test we've had, we have failed.
Yep. That's it. That's literally the crux of it, John. And the thing is if you have channels out there, right, that are, they're jumping on this bandwagon train and they're just going with public opinion, and they're happy when Milan win and they're sad when they lose, but they're going to get worked up and happy because we're destroying these absolutely junk teams. But I'm sorry, but the thing is, you know, we sh- we should be comparing ourselves to the best, right?
Yeah,
We shouldn't be
yeah,
comparing ourselves to, oh, it's great, fucking, smashing, I don't know, Empoli, right? Or,
yeah,
Sassuolo. But, God help us then if we face a serious team. And,
exactly.
but that shows you the level of quality that we have, right? And that quality starts at, I mean, that starts at the management, that starts at the coach, right? And then, that filters down, right? So we don't have the players. I'm sorry, but we're no longer a serious club. This is the
What it
thing.
is.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, we are no longer we're no longer someone that we're. I mean, we're
We're
just
not a
pushing.
competitor, Shane. I
We're
think that's
not.
the point. We're
We're
not
not.
a competitor. We are someone who's happy to get a medal to say we've taken part. The
A
taking
fucking
part medal.
participation prize. I
There
mean,
you
and
go. Participation prize. Thank you.
that is such a thing. It's kind of I think it's more of a thing in the US, right? But the thing
Mm.
is you know, sport isn't about participating, right? It's about
Well,
winning.
Milan should never be about participating only.
No, no. And this is the thing, man. And we're in it now, right? And the thing is, how long can we fucking hold on to this bullshit? Because at some point, while the ridiculous, like what annoys me about it is we've literally we've said, right, Redburn are fucking assholes, right, and they're going to destroy the club. And the thing is other channels then are also saying, well, you're not going to change management or stuff like that. But it's the thing is though, it doesn't matter, right, if we're not going to change management or not, right? The key thing is that we know what the problem is at the club. The problem is the ownership.
Yes.
Like this is the
Yes.
thing. Like we're not foolish here to say that we're going to, obviously, our opinion is not going to change ownership at the club. But at the end of the day, that is the fucking issue. The
Yeah.
issue is the ownership.
Yeah.
The issue is
And I and
nothing
I,
else.
and Shane, the other thing I want to say here, and I want to make it crystal clear, this is not about an anti-American agenda. I do
Definitely
not have
not.
that. There are
Definitely not.
other clubs in Serie A that have American owners, but those
Atalanta.
American owners, exactly, those American owners are saying, "You are a great coach. You stay in place. You
Yep.
are a sporting director. You do your job." That's the big difference. The big difference is some of those American owners actually have real sporting ambition.
Yep.
The issue with our owners, they could be from any country in the world, but their ambition is not sporting. They are here simply to say, portfolio company, let's make revenues. That side costs a lot of money. Forget about it. I'll leave it to you guys. You deal with it. Which is what they basically just tossed Ibrahimovic into the milieu and said, deal with it. And then they focused on everything but the marketing side. And again, I'm gonna be roasted for saying this. I am extremely disappointed that on such an important anniversary, we've got such lame owners
Yeah.
because they are going to use. We've got such passionate fans. We've got people that truly love the club, and they are
Yep.
going to spend their hard-earned money buying multiples of those jerseys. We spoke recently. Geo, coast to coast, shout out. $300 on two of those shirts.
Yeah.
Two of those shirts. And people from other parts of the world having to pay so much for shipping. These people love the club. They genuinely love the club. Some of them are collectors. They they are doing this because for decades they have loved this establishment. I'm
But the,
struggling with it.
yeah. But the money that
I'm
the money that people are paying though, John,
Yeah.
that's going to a guy who doesn't give a shit about the club.
And that's the thing, Shane. That
Mm.
money, I am so sad that that money is going to go into the pockets of a club that will
Yep.
turn around and say, I mean, think about it, Shane.
Yep.
Most fans, I presume, are going to pay in Europe. That shirt is like, I'm trying to remember, dude. In Europe, I think that shirt is something like 120, 130
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah.
So,
For something that
that
probably
being the
costs
case,
€5 to make, if even that.
probably
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
less. It's quite minimal in
Yeah.
the amount of badges that are included. At least it's
God.
got long sleeves. But
Yeah.
if you think about that, Shane, that money is going to make a big dent in their statement, end of year statement to say profits made again. And that makes me so sad because I see straight through Cardinale and what he's
Mm.
doing. And I think most of us see straight through it. Some people are still trying to hold on, but I'm sorry. The evidence is just too strong now. There's too many games being played. There's too many losses that we've taken. The sporting side is dead.
That's
They've
it.
let it
And the
rot
thing is,
away.
John, the thing is, right, the longer the longer that he stays in control at this club, the worse it's going to get because there is no plan.
Yes. And I would have genuinely no problem whatsoever with Cardinale if he cleared the entire decks of management and then actually invested some money. But the thing is, he
100%, yeah.
won't do it. He
No, he
won't
won't.
do it.
He
We
won't,
would have
John.
nothing to say against Cardinale, against Redbird if he actually behaved that way. Um, yeah. And as the joke I said yesterday was, as an Italian, the word for Redbird, uccello rosso, can be translated as meaning red dick. I should have known
That
from the moment that they came on. I should have known that that was a warning sign, mate.
was it, man. That was it. The answer
Absolutely.
is in front of
Right.
us all along.
The answer was in front of us. Right. So, okay, we're going to move on to something that's quite serious. But yeah, let's look at the league table quickly, Shane. As of this morning, I think. So we've got Atalanta top. Napoli is to play the game, so they could go if they win their game. They could go to 35. I mean, it's just I don't know what to say, Shane.
Yeah.
It's just speechless. It's when you look at this, lost 4 games out of 14. I mean, what?
It's pathetic, John. That's what it is like.
Six
I mean,
six games since the start of the season lost. It's
look
just
at the goal difference, John.
yeah, yeah. It's
Because the
yeah,
thing is it's us going forward isn't the issue. Us not, having like clarity and consistency in defense is the issue. But like when you look at
yeah.
that goal difference, Jesus Christ. I mean, and Atalanta as well, right? I mean, they've been like, oh, excuse me. Gasparini has, I mean, I think he deserves a medal at some point, right? Because they're consistently, right? They're selling on players, like,
Yeah, I mean, I heard a statement yesterday in one of the Italian channels, and I don't know if this is true, but they said Atalanta have been in profit for many more years than Milan. And I thought, okay, at some point we'll probably go into and look into it. But why? Why should I look into it? I don't care about Atalanta. In
yeah,
fact, I don't care about anyone being in profit. I care about winning.
yeah. Who gives
So
a
I
honestly?
guess their point was they're
Inter
being
don't
paid.
give a
They're
shit about
being
profit, John.
well, they don't. No, they don't. Although no, actually, I'm not going to say although nothing. They are where they are, and they're competing
Mm.
for the title.
Yeah, they could be,
They
Inter
keep
don't
winning.
get like. But this is the thing, though, John. We said this as well when Redbird first came in, right? Like we mentioned that, we don't want to become an Arsenal where like literally the carrot and stick is like floated in front of fans saying, oh, why worry about the, We don't need to be so concerned about, the sporting success, guys, because look at our balance sheets and we're all in the green and fucking, but like fans don't give a flying fuck about that, John.
Absolutely. And actually, Carmelo makes a great point. Four clubs above us change manager, right? So
Right.
Napoli, Fiorentina, Juve, I think Lazio may have changed as well, manager. But the other point I wanted to make was Bologna, guys. Look at
Mm,
Bologna's point total. That's a club that's been carved open this summer in the
that's
last
it.
transfer window. They lost their best players. Thiago Motta went off to Juventus. They lost their manager, and look at their points tally. It's the same as ours.
That's it.
I said that Bologna would be absolutely slaughtered this year. They'd be nowhere, right?
Mm.
But look at how they've managed to fix themselves. They've put on a decent manager who's starting to work and he's starting to get them to play. Yesterday, they could easily have beaten Juventus, right? Juventus had an incredible comeback to get back to 2-2, right? So this is
Yeah.
very serious situation. And Fonseca, post game, before I forget it, to stand there in front of the press and complain about referees, saying he was afraid of the referee before the game because he knew about. I cannot believe that that is what this loser came up
This
with.
is yeah. This is what we're depending on refereeing decisions now. This is the thing. You
But
know.
but it's like let's just look for an excuse that is new because most of the time what he's been doing is this: when he wins, he takes credit. When he loses, he says, "Team are not listening to me." Oh, I'm a bit surprised that then they've not been able to absorb what I've told them.
Yeah.
He's he's also quite clearly a very limited man manager, and
Yeah.
that's not a good thing. The one thing that Pioli had is that
Pioli
for a
did that well.
season
Yeah.
he had them working for him and with him. This
Yeah.
guy has no such thing, no
No.
such thing.
He's that.
Right?
But the thing is, John, is you need someone that the guys respect. But the thing is Fonseca hasn't done anything in his career. Like
No, no.
he hasn't won anything
That,
of
that was the that was the
importance.
whole point of that was the whole point why people said is just being brought on for to just have a manager because you need to have on the books you need to have a manager. That was literally the only reason why he's there. That's why he's paid so little. He's so limited. Right,
Mm,
we've got a lot to cover, and let's move on to this, Shane. So, the rumor mill. So, I wanted to bring this up because a lot of channels and a lot of people have noticed that Theo Hernandez's performances have been very poor. So Shane, yesterday, you can say he was at fault for one of the goals, and he was getting skinned by CDK for most of the game. CDK was like literally just going, "I'm just gonna go round you, gonna run." He was just killing him.
yeah.
Um, so one of the comments, and you've seen this, and you might have got a bit of a hint about something being wrong with Theo. And I'm going to mention something which is I'm just relaying it in English. I'm going to make it very clear. We're just relaying something in English. But this is very similar to news that we spoke about in a conversation about Tonali and betting. It involves the same individuals. And I am literally, Shane, you keep me in check as you always do, sir,
Mm-hmm.
about this. So let's get on with it. So, it involves a certain Fabrizio Corona. What I think is important about this is that I think it's unfair that Italian fans have ability to watch a 37-minute video that Fabrizio Corona has released called Falsissimo, and this is his YouTube channel that is just released, and he takes you through the whole course of events. He released this 2 days ago. Anyone that's interested, go and have a look at it. And it's now got English subtitles, so you'll be able to get most of it. But for those Italian speakers, you'll get all of it, let's just say. But I think we, about a month ago, mentioned that Fabrizio Corona, this paparazzo, was releasing information, something very, very serious about Theo Hernandez and something that he had done. Now, within this last month, a video surfaced on social media of a very grainy picture on CCTV, which you probably have seen, Shane, of uh, individual that Fabrizio Corona says was Theo Hernandez, but it looked like this individual was kicking something really, really hard. Okay. Now I can tell you many more details because Corona's come out with everything. Okay. The events go something like this. Allegedly, Shane. 31st 31st of January 2024, Theo and three other Milan players, and I know their names, and people that watch this video will get their names, attended a bar in Milan called Basho. Um, we are told that it's part of this bar, a club, is made up for VIPs. So it's an area where entrance is highly restricted. Doors apparently only open inwards.
Mm.
Corona, in his words, says that women, as in hostesses, are brought in as well as other materials to entertain the guests and keep them in the utmost privacy. According to Corona's accounts in his video, and again, I'm just translating, this is a place where people were getting drunk and inhaling a gas from a balloon to get them high. So,
Dude,
yeah, yeah,
dude.
tell me.
So I don't know if this is true or not. I've just found this on Reddit, and
Okay.
we can't ever clarify that, Reddit is a source of truth, right? So Theo's partner, Zoe, right?
Yes, yes.
She used to be Corona's partner.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Jesus. Okay.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know that. Okay, right.
Oh
I'll
my
carry on.
days. All right, go, go.
That
Yeah,
is good.
sorry, dude.
I'll carry on. So apparently, the inhalation of this gas gives you a high, but however, it does not um, result in traces of any drug in your bloodstream or your urine, and this is why um, famous individuals and sports stars um, take it. Now, in this video, we are shown clips from CCTV, and we are told that it is Theo. In the first instance, a man inhales from one of these balloons, and
Mm,
then out of the blue, he slaps a girl round the face from the back. Okay, and I've seen it. Okay, we are told that this girl is a hostess, and she appears to move away after clearly being in shock. At this point, Corona says, just watch the next video. In it, the same male individual, which we are told again is Theo, pushes a woman so hard that she falls over a table. This is a second hostess. The third video, Shane, is not shown, but we are told that it's a full blown punch to the face to the same hostess. When she gets back up, she gets blasted in the face. The next event is important. It's a video of this male individual kicking something repeatedly. That is the video that's been going around for the last month, Shane.
mm.
And there's an explanation to it. That video is not a person being kicked, male or female. We are told by Corona that this is actually um, Theo trying to force his way out of the VIP area. So after the punch was thrown,
Mm.
the entire area cleared because people were
Jesus
in such
Christ.
shock. And
Right.
the individual being high tried to kick his way out of the room, but couldn't find the door because he was not himself. Kicks the wall with such violence that he does quite a lot of damage to the wall and apparently some wiring behind it. In fact, the amount of damage is so severe that it even damages part of, a wiring for air conditioning unit. The following day, the club owner, that we're told his name is, again, this is all Corona's word. We are told that his name is Michele, is not happy with the damage and however, receives a payment from none other than our club captain for 12 or 13,000 euros. The club owner is not happy with the amount, and he decides to get evidence of the damage to the wall. It is only when he visits the security cameras that he realizes that he's caught something far worse. Corona then moves to show us a report, and you might have seen images of this report that some people have said is drafted by Theo's legal counsel, and the report has been signed, but some people have tried to rubbish this document. In this report, we are told that it is an agreement to accept payment for 65,000 euros for the damage to the wall, but there are words in there that say also for the abuse of the hostess. Apparently, there is a clause for a 30,000 euro additional payment to ensure all of the evidence and all of the videos are deleted. There's a section in this report that apparently says there is a 100,000 euro fine if there's a breach of this agreement. Obviously, it would seem from what Corona says and of what we're being shown that the owner did not delete the video, despite the document being executed. So presumably he took the payment. Now then it gets worse, Shane. Corona shows himself talking on the phone to a hostess, apparently the first hostess that was hit, and asked her, he says, I am shocked to her. Do you think it is right for women to be hit like this? And Corona paints himself as some kind of seeker of justice for women, and that it was embarrassing that Theo went around with that red streak on his face to indicate,
Yeah.
injustice for violence against women.
Oh dear.
Right. The next part of the video is the most worrying. So Corona says, in an apparent attempt to make more money, the owner of the club approached Milan themselves.
Yeah.
So Corona says that they, instead of reporting it to the police, they brought him to our headquarters and did some kind of deal. And the person involved was someone from marketing and PR and the head of security. Now, these are all Corona's words. You can all watch the video, which has not been taken down. It's been viewed about 300,000 times, the video. But it is the reason why, if you watch Italian media, a lot of them are hinting to something going on in the undercurrent.
Yeah.
What Corona is indicating is that he wants the police to get involved and investigate this because the hostess that was interviewed clearly said, I want nothing to do with this. I'm not going to say that anything happened, and I am not going to. I have a job, I am a hostess, and that's it. And he tries to push her and say, do you agree with women being hit? Which I think is a completely stupid question to ask. It's an arrogant question to ask.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a nonsensical thing to say.
Yeah.
She's clearly afraid. She's clearly afraid and doesn't want to say anything and doesn't want to be involved in this. So she will not press charges. The first person or the second hostess, it seems.
Yeah.
But he has this video evidence, and I should say the evidence of the punch, the actual violent final punch. But the first two clips is a male individual that is clearly slapping a woman in the face from behind and then pushing one over a table.
Yeah.
That's visible. The images are a bit grainy, but I would say something that my personal opinion, I should say, Corona says that's Theo Hernandez. That's what Corona says.
Yeah.
I am I am not going to get involved in this, but I think it's important for English speaking audiences to kind of say, look, this is what Italian speaking audiences have seen and have access to, whilst we are here
To be
talking about a video of a man kicking something when he was just kicking a wall,
to be
right?
fair, John, right?
Yeah.
Since this, so I didn't realize that, and let's talk Milan. Carmelo's also said he's confirmed as well. Teo's partner was with Fabrizio Corona. So I'm I'm more inclined to believe that this is bullshit. So the thing is the CCTV is grainy, right? Um, we have a guy who is notoriously bullshitted. Uh, you know, he just throws shit at the wall, hopes some of it sticks, right? Um, he's a personal bias. He's probably pissed off with Theo because quote unquote stealing his woman or whatever, right? This would make sense to me. I'm
You can
more now that
so the big word of caution is this. I'm
yeah.
just going back to what Corona has done. He has done years in prison for extortion.
There we
Okay,
go. Like,
he's a known quantity in that sense.
yeah,
Also, in the Tonali incident, he said that it was such widespread that the entire Serie A could potentially come to a
that it was
complete
bull.
stop. It
Yeah, I
wasn't the
mean,
case.
he basically said that Zaniolo was involved, and Zaniolo wasn't involved at all.
Zaniolo was not involved. And so the thing is, I'm giving you this information.
Mm,
We are doing this because Italian speaking channels are fully aware of it, and some of them are starting to come out with it. So
yeah,
one big YouTuber, Enrico Silvestri, that I follow, he's a mainstream YouTuber. He's got about 60,000 subscribers, and he came out with it yesterday and said, "Okay, this is what the club is doing." The big point about it is, I hope, I hope that Corona is exaggerating. I hope this is another individual. This is not who I think it is, because if it is, then it's huge, and it's a problem for both the player and the club.
mm, yeah. Because you see, the thing is
There's
like
more,
if
Shane, which I'm not going to go into, but
yeah,
the more part is the Milan level of knowledge of it, and
that's very
David's.
like if this comes out, like I'm not even joking. This is something that like it, if it's found out that this is correct and that Milan covered it up, right? Um, I'm not joking here. This is literally like ownership's changed because of this level of stuff. Do you know
Look,
what I mean?
it,
Because
it, yeah,
like
as I said, Shane, you watch certain videos and you'll see people say, "Oh, something's wrong with Theo," and they'll say things like, "Oh, something's going on with
that's
his
also
personal life."
true. Yeah,
They know of
yeah,
this. They know of this video. Um, and this is the thing, Fahadinho. Your point exactly. Corona is risking more jail time, yeah, for what if this is not true? He's risking going straight back to jail or being sued for an enormous amount of money, right? He has
shit.
basically said that he has managed to obtain these videos through a particular cash payment.
Mm,
Um, and he has mentioned names. And the thing is, in those videos, he tells you the name of the Milan players that were with Theo that night. So
yeah,
I'm not going to say them, but the video's available. It's not been taken down. The scary thing about it is, I would have fought this if it was someone coming up against me and I
yeah,
had the money that Theo has. I would have like smashed this out of the park immediately a month ago and
yeah,
said, "Shut this down immediately." What I'm shocked about is that he's now come out on his YouTube channel and made all these enormous allegations, posted these videos saying it was him, and posted this so-called legal document that was signed as evidence.
yeah,
That's a bit weird for me that no one from the club or Theo has come out and spoken live about it. Why
yeah,
would that be? That's
yeah,
not okay. Why would you not say anything? Because it's allowing this to fester and to get worse. And people are putting, ideas together and coming up with what we've said. But I was shocked. I thought that video would never come out. I thought that 37-minute clip video would never come out.
Oh, hold on. Let's talk Milan facts. Things like this happens when you've no leadership at the top of the club. Correct. Because what would happen if this was even in the Berlusconi days, right? I'm pretty sure, right, that shit like this has happened. And I'm not condoning it, or I'm not saying it is the right thing to do, but I'm saying that it was handled. Do you know what I mean? This is not being handled. So the
Oh, you
result
can
now
close
is,
down the
yeah.
screen shaded.
Oh yeah, sorry, dude. But yeah, this is not being handled at all well.
Here
Like,
we are.
do you know what I mean?
No, no, it's very, as you said, it's not the first time that footballers got themselves in trouble, but
No.
in this particular case, it seems horrendous if it's true. It's horrendous as someone who's
Mm,
carrying the captain's armband for our club. The other captain, by the way, you
mm,
know, it's horrendous in so many levels, and it needs to be either quashed right now or someone needs to come out. And if it
mm.
is true, then someone has to go to the police.
So
It's as
yeah,
simple as that.
well, because the thing is if it's true, um,
There's a victim here. There's
there's
two
a
victims
victim
at
here,
least
right?
here.
There's
At
two,
least two victims.
and the
Yeah.
problem is there's many more victims really because if it is true, we're going to lose a world class level left back. You know?
Well, is victims anyway. As I said, I thought let's just translate everything, provide the all the accusations from Fabrizio Corona, so people
Mm,
are aware when these discussions are happening,
mm,
why the Italian media seem to be talking about something, and people are because a lot of the English media are confused about it, and it's not.
yeah,
It's there in the background. They're just trying to keep it quiet for as long as possible. We kept it quiet for a month, Shane. We knew a month
yeah,
ago that something had happened, right?
yeah,
And we were like, okay, then this ain't gonna go anywhere. Hopefully it will die a death. Remember, Shane? It was like
yeah,
there's a
yeah,
weird video. He seems to be kicking something very violently. Everybody in the world who watched it assumed he was kicking a person. I thought, oh my god, that's horrendous. But you can't tell that that is who that individual is being Corona says is. But now
mm,
we know that's nothing to do with anything. It's because of the damage to the wall that a story goes. The club owner said, "I'm going to pull up the CCTV and saw other stuff, and then, oh my god, I can make more money." Um, but yeah, there
well
are
you
many
see,
victims. There's families. There's listen, man. If the hostesses are treated like this in one a night, who knows
yeah,
what how they're being treated every night? That's not on. It's just
no,
not acceptable.
no,
So it's clearly from this video that these hostesses are being beaten up. That's not
that's
okay.
no.
That's undeniable. They're being beaten, and that's not okay.
But if it's him though, then John,
If it's
he's pretty
him,
much. I mean, even his career at this point
yeah, yeah,
is pretty much
goes to
done.
Marseille, innit?
Yeah, a serious team is not going to want that on their books.
Yeah,
So
right. Anything else, Shane, to cover?
no, I think we did it. Episode 69, John.
It's a big one.
Meme material. It's it's like it's the key piece. It's why I did it. It's why we do it, right? But no, thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, we did
Um,
it to reach 69.
we did it just to reach level 69, so this is good.
Oh, I'll give you one
Um,
last rumor, which is
mm,
it's a much easier rumor, which might please some people.
mm.
Um, the rumor is that Cardinale is weighing
A
up selling
hermaphrodite.
25. Yeah. No, he is weighing up selling 25% of the club, and he'll make a decision by the end of January. This is all to try and stay ahead of the Elliott loan repayment.
Uh,
That's the
uh,
rumor.
yeah, but the thing
Okay?
is, yeah, it's fucking who cares at this point?
Yeah.
Just rich guy problems. But the problem is he's destroying our beloved club. That's the issue there. I couldn't give a shit who he sells it to. That's the thing. Anyway,
My God.
yeah. I think that the guy wasn't Theo, but it was Pavlovich. He's all the characteristics or something like that. To be
No,
fair,
no, no,
Carmelo,
no, 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 no. Oi, oi,
no,
careful. Aye, aye, aye. Wait, this
no,
this we do not condone.
no,
Start
we don't.
involving other players.
No,
That is
to
dangerous.
But that's partly why I like Theo, right? Because I think to some aspects he's very much my spirit animal because he's fairly self-destructive as well. But when it comes to this level of stuff, you can't defend it, you know.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, yeah, and no, it wasn't Pavlovich. Pavlovich was too busy knocking the shit out of Murata at Milanello that day.
That's probably it.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Let's
Uh,
give me a final shout out. I want to give a shout out to, first of all the guys that have joined our WhatsApp group. You know,
mhm.
Carmelo Fadinho, you've been amazing, amazing additions. Max and Gino as well, awesome guys. Watch their podcast, guys. Is they are
One of the best on the
very
web.
set.
Check it
They
out.
are some of the best guys out there. And then shout out to Fabio and Gio as well on Coast to Coast. They're our brothers. And NWP, where we've all first met in the first place. So keep it up, guys. As I said, we will win games coming up because the fixtures are easier. Don't get fooled by it. Please wake up.
Exactly.
Forza
Ex,
Milan, guys.
ex, Forza Milan, except the fact that we're going to be playing in the Europa League next year. It gets easier, even though we shouldn't be happy with mediocrity. Forza Milan. See you next week,
And
gents.
ciao. Ciao.
Italia!